welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Patrick Dewar. My guest today is George Carradini. If you could imagine combining the law of attraction with literally your Christian faith and then applying that into a philosophy of coaching, you'll end up with, well, George Carradini. I'm so thankful. And your new book is called Allow Your Success Now.
Correct. 5 simple steps to drop your bags and start your journey.
And allowyoursuccessnow.com is your website.
That's correct.
Excellent. Who is the ideal client for you?
Great, Pat. I appreciate you asking that. The ideal client for me is someone who's going through a transition. Maybe they're unemployed and they're looking for that next job. Maybe they've left a corporate career and they want to go into business for themselves. Maybe they've just left a relationship. Maybe there's somebody who's just looking for a change in their life. Oftentimes, we get to transition phases in our lives and we wind up going right back into something that we just left. And the reason for that is we haven't changed where we are. We haven't changed ourselves. We haven't changed at the level that we're vibrating at. And so whenever we make a decision or do something based on where we are, we get more of what we've gotten. So when we want to make a change, we want to find out, okay, what do I really want? So an ideal client for me would be somebody who is looking to be coached, maybe for 3 or 4 sessions, maybe longer than that. It's up to them. It's not like some of the other services out there that once you start, you can't stop. My goal is actually to coach myself out of a job.
Absolutely.
And I've done that with many of my clients. I'm working with somebody right now who actually changed from a government job and went into the private sector, something that he's always wanted to do, and he's had a great transition. And so things like that. I've also worked with people who have gone through divorce or recently through a divorce, and they're looking to get back on their feet and figure out what's next. And fortunately, the law of attraction coaching model that I use, I don't have an agenda. In other words, I help people create the lives that they want to create. And so what we do during a coaching session, and I don't know if this is a question that we're going to discuss, but a sample coaching question would be, what would you like to accomplish today? What are you working on? How do you feel right now? And how do you want to feel? And why do you want to feel that? Or why do you want what you want? And then we go through a few processes. The way that I blend my Christian faith is, as I was going through a year-long coaching academy, when I was looking at the material, the Bible verse that would correspond to whatever the practice was or the process was would pop up in my mind. And I'd say, well, wait a second, I've read this before. Yeah. This is such and such verse, or I've read this before. So this is just a lot of my Christianity repackaged in a different program. And I thought, wait a second, I don't have to put my Christianity aside to just do a law of attraction. And I don't have to put law of attraction aside because I'm a believer.
That's right.
Because God made the law of attraction. And a mutual friend of ours, David Shermer, opened my eyes to that at one of your luncheons, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
It was a
good
lot
guy.
of fun. So thank you.
And I know that when you're talking about this process, it's not a quick fix, but it really has to do with your emotion and what you're emoting.
Sure.
One of the things that I want to do is, before we get too far out of time here, I want to make sure people know how to connect to you. How do you want people to connect to you?
The easiest way to connect with me is either send me an email, which is george@aysn.info.
And that would be like Allow Your Success Now.
But .info.
.info.
Or go to my website, www.allowyoursuccessnow.com.
Right.
And leave a comment. Or click on Contact Me. And it'll shoot me an email. And that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Yeah. And when they do, what are they going to experience?
What they'll experience is I'll contact them within 24 hours to find out, to see if I would be a good fit for them to coach them. But I'll also let them know of upcoming seminars. I'm going to have a 4-week teleseminar once a week for 4 weeks, which is more of a group session. And then I'm also going to have upcoming weekends, a weekend retreat, where we can go ahead and work more specifically on projects.
That's awesome. Well, you know, one, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your service to your country. I want to say thank you for the leadership that you have illustrated to me in the last several years. And I've seen the results. I mean, folks, I really have. I've seen the results that George has generated. One of his clients literally was drooling, and now she's like the most watched person in America. So with that, I know we're wrapping this up. Thanks so much. This is the Business Spotlight. Pat Dewar.